Welcome to Acorns to Oaks. I'm Kristine Dixon. I am a board-certified behavior analyst, and with me is the phenomenal Sarah Moreau. We have been on this quest to help families with children and adults that have these restrictive diets through food expansion. And there are several. We talked about escape extinction. We really don't do that with food. I have seen that done in a clinic with a banana, where they just put the banana to the child's face until he ate it. I wasn't part of that intervention, and immediately upon seeing that was like, I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah.
There's also pairing of both new foods and old foods that would look like raisins and pancakes, right? Your child's able to eat pancakes. I want to try to see if they'll eat raisins, so we mix them together, or pairing together different foods. Have you ran the simultaneously pairing of the
Yeah.
non-preferred and a preferred food?
Yeah. So one method comes out of a book that I enjoy. It's called Plate A, Plate B. And basically you have foods that I know that my child will like, and then foods that I want my child to try. And little tiny small amounts, right? So we're trying the new food. It doesn't mean that they're going to love it. It doesn't even mean really that they're going to swallow it today, but we're building that familiarity. So that's one way of doing it. Then there's also the combination method, right? So you take a little bit of the pancake and a little bit of the raisin and see if we can eat it together. And again, really small raisin to start with, and then we sort of add more as we go. Both of these methods are trying to increase familiarity and reduce whatever sensory or rule-governed behavior or just fear that we're experiencing slowly over time.
Baby steps. Baby steps
steps.
to greatness.
That's
That is our
right.
philosophy. But,
That's right.
do no harm, baby steps to greatness. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are both good approaches in terms of slowly expanding the diet. And it'll vary the response from one child to another. For some kids, it's not really that hard. And
Yeah.
they'll pick it up pretty quick once they learn, like, oh, well, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You can throw a lot of vegetables on pizza,
That's true.
and children were like, I'll try it. Or, cut up broccoli in a quesadilla has been very successful.
That's a good one as
Yeah.
well. I know people like smoothies. That's another way to kind of mix flavors. But it's not going to work for everyone.
No, because some kids have like texture issues.
Texture
right? And we've
issues,
dealt with that before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Flavor issues, fear of certain stimuli. And not all of our clients have always been able to really express to us, this is the reason why I don't want to try that food. Or it could be like they had a bad experience, an experience of choking, an experience of being nauseous or throwing up, and associated it with that stimuli. So it's important, I think, to be sensitive to those things and move very slowly, ideally in a preclinical way. So we have a social skills group that meets every week. We have a great time. We present fruits and vegetables. They're not forced to eat them,
No.
but they're having that exposure in a fun setting, and they're experiencing their peers model eating those foods. And we've seen a lot of success that way.
We have. We when we started, it was like no one's eating grapes and carrots, and now it's kind of breathtaking when you look out and you're like, there's 16 kids eating grapes and carrots together. And peers do play a role in food. So, for instance, if one of your friends is like, let's go get sushi, it's like, okay, right? Because it comes back to what you were saying, is that there really is a social component to how we look at food and our intake on food. The social component is so important, right? We have great conversations at dinner.
Yeah, mealtime is a very social time. And it's a really important thing that I thought of when you were just saying that, is that there are so many reasons why a kid may not want to eat a certain food.
Yes.
And we often, I think, jump to, well, they're on the spectrum, so it must be a sensory issue, or it must be a rigidity issue of we like the same thing and it makes me feel safe. Or it could be I don't want to move away from this really fun thing I'm doing over here to do that. I don't really feel that hungry. I'd rather keep doing my fun activity.
iPad. Yeah.
iPad,
Yeah.
right? But there can also be the social part is really hard, right? Sitting at a table and having conversation is really difficult for some of our clients. And that might be part of why they're avoiding eating. So teasing that out then also from physical issues, like, do I have a trouble chewing and swallowing? Do I have a problem like coordinating breathing with swallowing? And that's when we need our speech and OT friends sometimes to assist us.
Absolutely. And we've worked a couple of cases like that when we're looking at medical fragility and, unable to have solid foods. And we've worked from liquid to solids in very, very small baby increments.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of families, when they struggle with feeding, get to a point where they have to put in a feeding tube. And that's devastating for families. However, with that feeding tube, the child is getting the nutrition that they need. And now we can move on to exploring diet expansion in a way that isn't going to be traumatizing, because we're not going to have to force, because they're getting the nutrition that they need. And then over time, we've had success with getting people off of that tube, which I think is a really crucial thing for families and for children, to be able to be comfortable with what they're eating, and at the same time getting the nutrition that they need. And again, I just can't emphasize enough how much we need a collaborative model between your doctor, your speech and OT, your behavior analysts, and also your registered dietitians.
The pre-MAP principle, which is first eat your dinner, then get dessert, right? That's another empirical-based intervention. That can work for some, but definitely not
It
for
can.
all.
Yeah, and especially works well for the kid that doesn't want to leave that activity, and that's the reason why they're not eating their dinner, or they're not eating those foods, is because I want to do this thing over here, which is more interesting to me. And for those that maybe don't have a big aversion, but they just prefer to not, I think that the pre-MAC can work really well for those kids. If it is an issue of that is something that is so disgusting to me that if I put it in my mouth, I'm going to throw up, that might not be the right kid for that intervention.
Absolutely.
And
I
this-
would never recommend
No,
that
no,
for
of course
medically
not.
fragile or, but
Yeah.
maybe the kid that doesn't want to.
Yeah, and I know you wouldn't. You've had a fabulous record working with families. I think that understanding the reason why can help to point us in the right direction for the intervention. However, there needs to be more research, because we don't really have. There's not really a tool that we can use that says, hey, this is the problem, use this method, right? Which I think would be really
That's
helpful.
interesting. Like an assessment tool
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
food expansion to sort of help us indicate,
Yeah.
hypothesize the function in a way that I like that. I'm going to
Yeah.
get the positivity, but
Never give up. Never surrender. You got this.
got
I
it.
will never surrender.
Never surrender. Never surrender. One of the interventions that has been really successful, and I'm so glad that I came to know and love this intervention, is by the Kegels, Bob and Lynn. And this is their pivotal response training / treatment food expansion program. That's been great for us, and it's really simple. It starts with 30 foods that the parent wants the child to try, and then it is a very slow step-by-step process, right?
Yes. So that is perfect for if there is a sensory issue.
Yeah.
To slowly become more used to that smell or that flavor or that texture, but in a way that is at the child's pace.
Yes. And it's so assent-based, meaning that the child has the choice each time. But it starts, let's, say it's a strawberry. It starts with having the strawberry just on the plate, tolerating it on the plate, looking at it, even if it touches other foods. And then next it is smelling it, right? So
Yeah.
you're automatically getting used to at least one sense
Yeah.
of the food,
Yeah.
right?
And this slow stepwise from just looking at it to smelling it to eventually
Nibbling
licking it, chewing
licking
it, spitting it out,
spitting
chewing it out,
chewing
swallowing it.
Yeah.
And it ends with chewing, swallowing with no sign of displeasure.
No sign of distress. That's I love that because I don't think eating should be stressful. When we talk about healthy relationships with food, it shouldn't be a stressful thing. You shouldn't have high emotions, both positive or negative, in a lot of the foods. That emotionality that comes with it. My husband, Kevin, he will not eat bananas,
Oh, really?
but he once, like a little monkey, loved bananas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Did he have a bad experience?
he ate so many bananas that he just will never eat anymore. I think he ate so many that he actually threw up.
So-
Is that true?
That is true.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He ate so many bananas that he
So
threw
for
up.
the behavior analyst students out there, that would be an abolishing operation.
There you go.
Same exact thing happened with her own.
Interesting.
So,
Huh.
some people get on a kick and then it's like it's done. Or if you've had food poisoning,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
I have been poisoned by food.
I have also been poisoned by food, not as recently.
And I will never eat a tuna melt again. It
Yeah.
will never touch my lips.
I had to desensitize myself to salmon. I got sick on a salmon.
Oh man.
And that took a long time. But I thought, like, it's so healthy and, I'm going to work my way back. But I did.
You did work your way
did.
back.
I did. And now it's fine. But for a long time, even looking at one, the smell, trying to take a bite, nausea.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's a quick way to become afraid of a food. It's to become very sick.
And there's such a variety of food. And a lot of the foods still in the world are very unfamiliar to me. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? Like on a buffet, or I was like, what is that? In Detroit when I was 20, I think I got invited to a fancy party, really fancy. And there were strawberries next to this like pinkish, it looked like pink whipped cream. And so I thought it was like Cool Whip fruit dip.
Yeah.
Right?
Reasonable.
Yeah. It was caviar. It was some type of caviar dip. So I put a huge scoop. I thought I knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I put a huge scoop on my plate. I dipped my strawberry in at the fancy party and was like, this is not Cool Whip. And then I slowly put my plate by my feet and I pushed it under their couch. So I didn't have to eat it. But, some foods, things that are recognizable, they are comforting. And they're comforting to kids, right? So, comfort foods, I think, should play a big role,
Mhm.
in the daily routine
Yeah.
of feeding
Yeah.
individuals,
And I think also it's really great to have that understanding for parents, because I think sometimes parents go to school with their little kids' packed lunch and receive a lot of judgment for what's inside. And sometimes those comfort foods are what is going to power that child through the day. And we work on the diet expansion at home. So eventually the foods that we're working on, when we become comfortable with them, can go into that lunchbox. But I think there's a lot of blame that gets put on parents,
Yeah.
and
it's
it's
so
so
unfair.
unnecessary.
And
Yeah.
a lot of times it's from other parents or teachers. Like, you sent him with 2 bags of chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
what
did.
he'll eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes chips.
Yeah.
I also sent a sandwich and some carrots and some celery if
Yeah.
he wants to try it. But yeah, in the PRT food expansion, once the child without any discomfort tries the food,
Mhm.
then that food should be regularly incorporated into their weekly diet.
Yeah, and it really is a partnership with the family. I think your dogs are hearing about food
I
again.
know, they're like, we love food so
They're like,
much.
I'll eat the carrots.
I'll be on this podcast.
Call me in for my interview.
They're all right there.
But yeah, it is important to have that partnership with the family so that we understand, hey, this is where we are. This is what he did today. If maybe they didn't see it or maybe they weren't a part of it that day for whatever reason, then that way they can incorporate those foods in that lunch or in that family meal the next time. Because we can have all of the success we want when it's one-to-one with a therapist and the child.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if that isn't being translated into the child's everyday life.
Yeah. Generalized across people, generalized across settings. Yeah, absolutely. That's meaningful change. And
Yes,
that's
it
one
is.
of the things that our science is so good at.
Yes.
Yeah. You know who doesn't have problems with food expansion is dogs. I've read, or I believe I learned in my sensation and perception psychology class with Dr. Theodore Bell that dogs have a certain enzyme which allows them to eat garbage.
That would check out with my dogs. Yeah, the things that they find on our hikes through the forest and choose to eat, it's astounding. But I also noticed that so this morning I put out my dog's kibble for their breakfast, and I also put a little yogurt in there because I'm a pushover. And the Weimaraner, who is very food motivated, is like eating right away. But the Vizsla waits until I scoop the yogurt into his food bowl to start eating because he's spoiled.
Or do we also do these rituals around these food? Does this add to some of the reinforcing properties of
so.
the food? I
Yeah.
think it does.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe there's a safety component there too. Like, I know I'm going to expect this routine to occur, and then I feel like I'm okay. But if it doesn't occur in that way, eventually he'll eat the food, because if he doesn't, then his brother, the Weimaraner, will. But I think if the Weimaraner were not there, he probably wouldn't. He'd wait until that yogurt was put in there before he'd eat, because that's his routine.
Yeah. I have 3 dogs, 3 golden retrievers, and they are absolutely food motivated, of course. And one of them will eat street boogers. That's what we call them. They'll just lick the street, and it'll just drive my husband crazy. He doesn't want them to get sick. And they have such a strong sense of smell. A lot of times, with dogs, they will lick things that are absolutely not in their best interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, unlike you and I and our food poisoning experiences, I'm not convinced that my dog knows it was that trash I ate that's making me feel this way. I think that by the time it hits him, he's forgotten about the trash, and I'm sure he's looking for a reason, but he's not finding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My little puppy, when we're on walks, she just leans over and bites random bushes and eats them and just keeps going. And yeah,
It's a salad bar.
I wonder if my big boy dog, Bio, named after B.F. Skinner,
Mm-hmm.
I wondered, I asked this of my husband last week. I was like, do you think this dog, if he had unlimited food, would eat himself to death?
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin said no, but I was like, no, I think he would.
Well, I have experienced something similar. So,
Oh, really?
not my current Weimaraner, but the previous Weimaraner, back when I was single and it was just
Lyle.
me and Lyle.
Yeah.
In an apartment in Costa Mesa. I kept his food in a little locked, like, metal locker from IKEA, and it had the key in it. That's how you opened it. It didn't have like a lift or any sort of handle that you pull. I thought, he can't turn a lock with his
No.
mouth.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
He can't do
And
it.
I would leave the key in the lock, but it's closed. And one day I came home and the key was on the ground and had like bite mark on it. But the thing didn't open, so I thought, still can't unlock it. But I still left the key in the lock. And then the next day I came home to carnage.
And he's like, I learned how to open it, Mom.
He opened it and he ate an entire bag of food, and it was like he ate a bunch and then he'd throw up, and then like stuff was all over the place. It was terrible. But
Oh,
I
that
told
sounds
this
terrible.
story to a friend, and like, can you imagine how he felt that moment when the lock turned and the door opened, and how happy he must have been? And that kind of made me feel a little better. But yeah, I don't know. I think that they probably would not be able to eat themselves to death like a goat can. I don't know if they can expand that much without throwing up.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the vomit talk today.
I I would come home from school and my parents both work, so I would be alone in the house. And this did not lead to healthy food eating habits. I mean, it would be like, I'm going to have a spoonful of hot fudge. I'm going to eat this Cool Whip out of the container. And then when it would come dinner time, my mom was like, "You're not going to eat your dinner?" Like, oh, no. No,
No, I don't need that anymore.
exactly.
I actually, my husband's very food motivated.
Oh, really?
And every year when it's time to get his flu shot, we make a deal. He gets the shot and then he gets to choose whatever lunch he wants.
Oh, that's great.
And, not to say that
so
like,
pre-Mac.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It works. Not to say that I restrict his lunch choices regularly, but it's worked. He's gotten that flu shot every year we've been married. So,
Yeah. We do to our family, not just our children, but our family and our husbands and our loved ones. We do also really want them to be healthy too, right? And science is really saying that eating these prebiotic, fibrous foods is really great for health
yeah,
and well-being
yeah.
and vitality.
High fiber, high protein, lots of fruits and vegetables. But I don't know that I always find this kind of funny because I think as adults, most of us, if not all of us, know like, hey, this is a healthy choice and this is maybe not such a healthy choice. But it's making that shift to make that healthy choice over the maybe more appealing, maybe more accessible, lesser healthy choice. But I also don't want to get so focused on that I don't enjoy anything.
Exactly. You can't eliminate.
Yeah.
Like I like chocolate.
I love chocolate.
If you eliminate chocolate,
Mhm.
scientifically, the value of that piece of chocolate
Right?
is gonna go sky
That's
high.
all you'll think about.
Yeah, so it really is about moderation and balance.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
speaking of that, we grew up with the food pyramid, right?
Yes.
The Illuminati way to eat food.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's now changed quite a bit.
Yeah, so it's been through a lot of changes. It then went to the plate, right? Where you had
yes.
like half of your plate should be veggies and fruit and then a little bit of proteins and carbs. And now there has been a recent change. We're back to the pyramid, but it's configured more like this.
Like a V?
Like an upside down.
Like upside down. We
Triangle.
flipped it on its head, huh?
Yeah, it's like a piece of pizza now.
Oh, I like that.
Emphasizing more of the proteins and dairy. I would actually really like to talk to a dietitian about what they think about that because there's a lot of sort of religiosity in what we talk about diet, like people that swear about keto is the way to go,
Yeah.
or vegan is the only way to eat, or Mediterranean, which there is a lot of data for Mediterranean. But, there's all these different diets and there's belief systems that support them and that we engage in and that we think this is the only way to eat. I don't really think that's true, but I would really be interested in getting a registered dietitian's take on that. So registered dietitians out there, give us a call.
Yeah, we know a few.
We do.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it really comes down to the joy, we don't put out a lot of those foods in our house.
Mhm.
So we do have the cakes, the cupcakes. We do have things like that around the holidays and, but we also try to have healthy options. It's so funny. If there's an apple and a cupcake, I'm going for the cupcake.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to always go for the apple.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that I think is the bottom line is it doesn't always have to be the apple.
It doesn't. It doesn't always have to be the
Yeah.
apple. It can be the
It
cupcake
can be the cupcake.
if it's balanced.
They can coexist
Yes.
in a peaceful manner.
Yeah. But you're right. Parents, there is a lot of judgment.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's just an additional stressor. I just have so much compassion for these parents and
Absolutely.
going out of their way to dedicate their lives to supporting these kids. And it's not always easy. But hopefully, we can be a part of making that a little better.
Absolutely. Watching it learn and grow is crucial expanding diet.
Yeah.
I ate a cherry, Kristine. I ate a blueberry. Wasn't there a case where you were cutting blueberries up into
Oh,
the
yeah.
tiniest pieces?
Yeah. Yeah. So you going back to like the smallest acceptable amount to just get started. But he ended up eating those blueberries whole toward the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
The pivotal response treatment really has incorporated fruits and vegetables into our clients' diets in a very positive and joyful way.
Yeah.
So
And it should be fun. It's food,
it
right?
should
We
be
should have a
fun.
good time with it rather than it being something to be afraid of.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
healthy mindset around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except bananas.
Oh, no. That's so sad.
One more thing about food. Halloween.
Ah, my favorite holiday.
Yes.
Hands down.
Halloween. Yeah. We seem to, in the calendar, in the 365 days, we have these days of gorging on food. And not always the best foods, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not always the best
Yeah.
foods. So when you were did you go trick-or-treating when you were younger?
Absolutely. I looked forward to it
Mm.
for months. I
Yeah.
had my costume, I had my little orange bucket, and
Oh,
I
you
was
had a
ready to
bucket.
go.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
well,
We just
it-
used our pillowcases.
oh,
and we would
that's
just
nice.
fill them up
Yeah.
complete with candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how much candy would you eat?
I had full reign of not only the bucket, but I grew up in a small town in Iowa, so they just kind of throw me outside and off I'd go.
Yeah.
And it's just the freedom, the costumes, the spooky music, like everything about it. I loved it. But the best part was you come home with a bucket of candy that is not restricted in any fashion by your
Yeah.
parents. And I hoarded it in my closet. And I would, it was like a ritual. Like, I'm going to choose the best piece.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to go eat it over here in the corner where no one can see me. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's days
Yeah.
during November where I must have had 30 pieces of candy in one day. I'm like, wow. I mean, I would just eat it and eat it and eat it. I do like sugar.
Yeah. I hear you on that front.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to allow those celebrations and to have those moments if you can. And maybe some kids don't like that too. I know Halloween actually can be really hard for a lot of our clients because
Absolutely.
this costume is itchy and who is that and what's that sound?
And I don't want to
And
talk
I
to
don't,
them.
yeah, I don't want to ask for candy. I just want to get it, or I don't want to even be here. I want to go home and watch television or whatever I would usually do. But that's sort of the fun about these things, right? Is there's a freedom to do it in your way. I hope that our clients are out there having a great Halloween every fall because I loved it so much. But if not, that's cool too. There's
Yeah,
a
not
lot of
everyone
ways
has to celebrate that. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the joy around food, I
Mhm.
think that's a really important piece of that healthy relationship
Yeah.
with different foods is being joyful
Absolutely.
and having positive experiences around a large variety of food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then
Yeah.
you'll try new foods.
That's
right?
true. You're more
Yeah.
likely to, I think. And for some kids, like having that social component is key,
Yeah.
right? Like I see my friends doing this thing and they're enjoying it, so maybe I'll try it and maybe I'll like it, and maybe not, right? But at least it's a healthy connection not only to food but other people, and really that's a big part of health is having that social part of your life. Yeah,
Absolutely. But in moderation, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you and I, we have had so many successes that we have toasted many a glass of champagne.
Oh, another thing that I really love.
Yes. But this January, we decided, we took a little pact and
Mhm.
we decided that we weren't going to
That's true.
do that.
Mm-hmm. Slept better, felt
Woke
more
up better.
focused.
Oh,
yeah.
did feel more focused
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and alcohol is one of those things that there's really no benefit health-wise. Um, but again, like you don't live like a monk if you don't want to. It's
Absolutely.
okay to have a glass of wine once in a while for some people.
For some people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did that state of deprivation of not having it, did it make you want it more? Because in
Ab-
my case,
yeah.
it didn't.
No, that's great.
Yeah. In my case, I was like, oh, this is just this is fine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was like,
I have replacements. So pomegranate juice is one that I really like. It looks like a glass of wine.
yeah.
You know,
Like
but it's
San
also
Pellegrino is bubbly.
right. Yeah, some Olipop's. Those are pretty good. Um, yeah, I had done a long stretch with no wine a few years back. I went, I think, 50 days, and that first glass of wine after 50 days was great.
Well, that's that stated
Right.
deprivation,
Yeah.
right?
It
So if you,
smelled amazing.
yeah,
Like it looked really good. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think yeah, alcohol is one of those things. Like I wish it were true that
I wish it was
there's
on
a
the
health
food
benefit.
pyramid.
There's no health
It's not on the food
It's-
pyramid. No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So very rarely.
very rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on food expansion?
I think I just want to emphasize to remove the blame. you
Yeah,
know?
remove the blame, have compassion,
And take
and
your time.
and highly individualized.
Yeah.
Empower individuals. Don't force.
Absolutely.
If you're forcing food, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah,
That's
agree.
that's how unhealthy relationships
It's so true.
with food are
Yeah.
formed, I think.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, we agree.
As usual.
Let your positive energy radiate outwards for the whole world to see.
I see your positive energy.
Yes, I see yours.
Well, thanks for joining us at Acorns to Oaks. We had a lot of fun talking about food today.
Hell yeah, we did.
Look forward to speaking to you again. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or comments, and be sure to hit that subscribe button when you get a chance.